Hello dear learners, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about a country. Why have I chosen to talk about a country? The moment we talk about a country, we are almost talking about a small world. When we discuss about a country, we not only add information about that country, but we improve our English by adding new words to our vocabulary. The country I have chosen today is Singapore. I'm sure most of you must have heard of this country. Do write in the comments and tell me where you are watching this video from. Maybe we can do a video about your country with your help. So let's get back to Singapore. Singapore is a small island nation. What does that mean? An island is a piece of land which is surrounded on all sides by water. So Singapore is a small country surrounded on all sides by water. Where does it lie? That means where is it located? It is located in Southeast Asia. Next, who are its neighbours? It is flanked by Malaysia and Indonesia. You can use different words. It is surrounded by Malaysia and Indonesia. Its neighboring countries are Malaysia and Indonesia. So please try and make more and more sentences to answer the same question. Please ask yourself questions as we talk about this country. What you should do is identify a country you want to talk about. Go on to the internet and write down whatever you understand about that country. Ask questions, individual questions, and write down the answers so that you get an entire page or 2 pages about that country. Once you've written down all the question and answers, all you have to do is read them a couple of times. Then close that notebook or just fold that sheet of paper and try saying all these things without reading. There again, you can ask questions and you yourself can give the answers. Otherwise, you can just say the answers in the form of a paragraph. I leave that entirely up to you. So where were we? We were talking about the neighbours of Singapore. What do we talk about next? We can talk about the people of Singapore. Who lives in Singapore? What is the culture of Singapore? What is the cuisine of Singapore? That means what kind of food do people eat there? So let's start with the people of Singapore. Singapore has people from many different nationalities. Some of them have settled there for generations, some for a few decades, and some have moved there recently. There are people from China, Malaysia, India, and other Asian countries settled in Singapore. So what is the culture of Singapore like? There are so many different nationalities present in Singapore. That is why the culture of Singapore is very diverse. It is a multicultural society. What does that mean? It means there are many cultures blended together. What is culture? Culture is the way people live, their food, their music, their festivals. That is what culture is. So Singapore has a very, very diverse culture. What are the festivals celebrated? All kinds of festivals are celebrated there. Chinese festivals, Indian festivals, Malay festivals. You can name some of these. I'm not going into details, but you can. Then we talk about what is the language spoken there. There are many languages spoken in Singapore because there are many, many different kinds of people living there. So we have Chinese, we have Malay, we have Tamil, and many other languages which are spoken in Singapore. They have 4 official languages. I think there are so many types of people, so it must be very densely populated. There are only 6 million people in Singapore. So it's a small country which is very, very densely populated. It's also an island which has been reclaiming land. What does that mean? That means that they build on the sea. They first put mud and they put all kinds of things to make land out of the sea. So that is called reclaiming the sea. So they have expanded their country through reclamation. The other thing we can talk about is their cuisine. What kinds of food are available in Singapore? Again, you have a very, very vast variety because of the kinds of people living there. Singapore has one of the strongest passports in the world. Singapore actually has the strongest passport in the world. What is the meaning of that? That means citizens of Singapore can visit almost 200 countries without a visa. Can you imagine? Why does Singapore have such a strong passport? Singapore has such a strong passport because of its international reputation and its diplomatic relations with countries across the world. It's a very strict country. They take no nonsense. That is why people of Singapore are good people. Their country doesn't allow them to be criminals. There is hardly any crime in Singapore. Why do people like to go for a holiday to Singapore? Why do people want to go and settle in Singapore and live in Singapore? It is because the country is a clean country. There is no crime in Singapore. These are two things which are very important for someone who wants to live in a good environment. So do you see how we are talking about this country? There are so many things we can talk about, but we have to keep this discussion limited. After you watch this video, look up any country and start writing about that country in the form of questions and answers. Your confidence is going to increase rapidly. So you get started and I'll say bye-bye.